Hey, everybody.
Sorry.
Welcome to the Caves Cast podcast. I'm not Jeremy. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jeremy, and I'm having a snack. Sorry.
Yeah. Back this week for again with the new format. We're going to be talking about multiple things this week. Um,
What
man,
do you want to start with?
I guess we can start with the news, man. Let's go with a little bit
I
of
mean, yeah, it's weird because like I'm sure like there's a lot of stuff. Like there was Godzilla X-Men, and announcement news with the creative team and stuff like that. But like I don't like
yeah.
who cares about?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to like creative teams, the only one I really want to talk about is the fact that they didn't learn from Bendis in Superman, obviously, because now we're getting Dan Slott is getting some of the
Man,
keys
I
to
know.
Superman.
Superman Unlimited is what I'm hearing it's called, right?
I thought that was I think that's the one shot that Joshua Williamson, Dan
Uh,
Slott, and them are doing, and then Dan Slott's gonna get his
the
own.
series after.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's gonna be
Either
the
way,
summer of Superman for
I I'm not particularly fond of a lot of his stuff.
yeah,
I mean, some of his Spider-Man is okay. It's pretty cool. Like
yeah,
Superior is pretty cool.
yeah,
I think the best, honestly as like cliche as it sounds, my favorite part of his Spider-Man is when Peter is like comes back at the end
right,
of Superior,
yeah,
and literally like that page with Green Goblin where he's like, "It's you." Like
yeah.
that literally sums up like my enjoyment of that run for the most part. I'm like, "Oh, that's great." But
Yeah, I love that run because like Slot didn't overdo it either. I think it was only like what, like 25 or 29 issues, something like that.
for that arc, yeah, for that
Yeah,
storyline, yeah.
for that super or Superior Spider-Man run was like 30 issues, the
Yeah.
first.
I did like the end of it though. I liked the Red Goblin stuff.
I actually kind of I think like Superior Spider-Man was probably the best part of that just because
Oh, I know. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I agree.
I loved it just because like seeing Otto just speak as
The
like Spider-Man and the stuff he says, and
yeah,
it's
the
also
dumbest part
hilarious.
was Alpha.
Oh yeah, that forgotten thing where he was like supposed to be one of the most powerful. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, the little blonde
yeah.
kid
Ugh.
who looks like he should be part of
A power pack
like
or
the
something.
Future Foundation, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to do. Whatever. It is what it is.
But I'm just hoping they don't. As long as I get continue to have Williamson Superman and Philip Kennedy Johnson Superman, who got delayed. You saw that too, right?
What?
Yeah, they delayed Philip Kennedy Johnson's Superman now because of this Dan Slott Superman Unlimited thing. They want that to come out first, and then later on they're gonna have Philip Kennedy Johnson's book come out. Philip Kennedy Johnson had to do like a PSA about it
Ew.
because it's not like on you can't pull it now right now since they pushed it back.
Dude. Ugh.
Yeah, when that's like the Superman story, I'm like the most stoked about.
Yeah, that's dude, that like pisses me off, man, because
Yeah,
I really like everything he's done with Superman.
yeah,
And
like
it's not like I miss the twins. Where are they at?
dude, everybody forgets that the twins are a thing, and like it would be a perfect thing right now
No,
as Wonder Woman.
they don't. There's no way they forget, bro. Like they just don't like. I don't know what Williamson's deal is for not
Dude,
using. I don't
why
know,
aren't the kids with Superwoman and him right now? Like it's a perfect.
dude.
They could all be flying
I
together.
know, bro. I think about it every issue since they've been flying around together. I've been thinking about that.
Yeah,
It's just
like
annoying to me.
yeah. I'm sure Phil Kennedy Johnson's not gonna forget them, and they'll be in there. But
You just
it
need to
does
let
kind of
him
suck
write.
that like Action forgets about it, and
Yeah,
Superman. Like
they just need to, you know, let him write Superman, like the main Superman book.
yeah, like. But I can't wait for Phil Kennedy Johnson, his Superman. I can't wait. It'll be, I don't I hope it's not his final like Superman statement, but can't wait to add it to the collection. So
Yeah, I really hope it's not either because all that stuff with Olgren, like, maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like that he keeps getting cut off at every turn, man. Like
Right.
he built up the Ogre and stuff in War World, and then he has his little bit of stuff on action after Clark comes back to Earth, and then bam, cut off.
And then yeah, Green Lantern War
And he
Journal.
does it in Green, and then he does it in War Journal. 12, and then see, like, I don't think I mean I'm crazy, maybe, but I remember that book being announced as long ago, not 12 issues.
Yeah, same.
So I was in like when they said it was ending at 12, I was like, why?
Yeah,
Sucks. Like I don't get it. Like I mean, I guess I get it because they did the they're doing Green Lantern Corps, but also like just it could have been like I don't know. Maybe I'm just upset about it because I like that was like the one of the big parts of like that was drawing me into DC. Like it has been for a while. It's like is that storyline? Where is that going?
yeah. And Jeremy Adams was like helping him like build it a little bit in
Yeah,
certain.
well, because he's using Theros because with the United Planets and all that stuff. Like,
Right.
I'm kind of like, I'm kind of bummed that it's over. But I mean, I guess it's not entirely over yet. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they're still in the aftermath of all of that at this moment with the fractured spectrum and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But I mean, not to like just. I feel like we just totally. So I'm about to segue into just like Green Lantern because that's been really good. But
it has. It has.
other news wise, I think. Or I guess back to Dan Slott before we jump to something else. I'm just not really all that excited about him coming to Superman when there like are plenty of other options. You know what I mean?
Of course. Like, and it sucks because I know what Marvel's thinking. They're like, or I know what DC's thinking. They're like, hey, the last time anybody remotely liked Amazing Spider-Man was when Slott was writing it. So we just got to give him the keys like we did to Bendis. And it's like,
Doesn't work. It didn't work though.
it didn't. It
So
bombed.
okay, what does that mean? Does that mean that after his 6 or 12 issue series that he's gonna be writing Superman in a year?
I hope not. I hope like it's not like Williamson's run's gonna end soon and then like Slott's next because
You know what I mean? Like,
I might have to drop Superman if that's the case.
I mean, hey, it's one less book I have to read, I guess, each month if he is taking over
Yeah.
Superman. But also, like, I tried Fantastic Four with him. I was not good. I didn't like it. It was not good. It was not fun for me to read. It just
Right.
wasn't enjoyable.
Right.
So I just dropped it. You know, Spider-Man, the only like really, I mean, honestly, genuinely, I think the only book that I really, really, really like by him is Silver Surfer.
Yeah. But that's also he's working with all red, so it's like
Yeah, like I'm already biased to that because it's like
yeah.
damn, dude, like this, like I like the art, but
Yeah.
like it's just one of Marvel's best books, and to like see like him write something like that, and then write something like Spider-Boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like you know what I mean, or like the Fantastic Four that I was reading. It's like it's crazy like to have like that kind of like a like
And he did like 10 trade paperbacks worth of freaking Fantastic Four, so that's
yeah,
crazy.
dude.
That's
And I
insane.
was out. I was done like 5 issues in. I think I don't even think I made it. I think maybe to the end of the first trade, like maybe 5 or 6 issues in. I was
Right.
done. I couldn't do anymore.
But also not gonna segue into that, but Ryan North's latest Fantastic Four issue was so fire. That was
Really
one
good, dude.
was one of the best. I feel like I say this every issue, but that was like one of the best issues so far. Like
Yeah, man. I
I'm,
don't like.
I'm so stoked he's doing an event. I'm so stoked because like he's been killing it, and I feel like nobody's talking about it. I feel like nobody talks about how like Ryan North has just been killing it.
Dude,
Um,
it's a banger book. Every issue is just
yeah, it just nails it. Like this is like my Fantastic Four. This feels like the Fantastic Four like I've always known. But
it's crazy that this book has been going on for like almost 2 years now, huh?
yeah, it's like at issue a little over like 2.5 years now. It's like at issue 30, right? Like almost at
Yeah.
30. It's at like 28.
28 was just the one that came out, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, there's so many good books out.
Yeah. It's
It's hard
insane.
on it's hard on the wallet, but it's
Yeah.
also it's a lot of fun to read. and just enjoy comics, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
it's just fun to enjoy comics at this point, I think.
But
Because
mhm. Go ahead.
there's a lot that's not enjoyable
Right. No, there.
out there.
I would say that right now though is some of the best. It's like the ratio is like there's more good than bad. I feel like I
Yes.
you know at least when it comes, I feel like it's the absolute and ultimate stuff that really you know up in the ante. But
Okay, so I do want to move on to the diamond
oh
situation.
yeah, 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 that's
Um,
pretty crazy.
Diamond has announced bankrupt Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
That's crazy.
Um, and okay, like this is how I understand it. So, Chapter 11 bankruptcy, like they're basically like bleeding out money and owe a lot of fucking like a lot of money, basically. Like and they can't make it up and they can't pay it back and they can't and they're just yeah, in debt a lot. Um, but chapter 11 gives them an opportunity to kind of like gives them some time to get things in order before
Okay,
they're um so that's essentially what's been happening.
right.
Um yeah, so it says as of January 14th, Diamond Comics distributors files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy to restructure financially and stabilize operations. Um so they were spill my drink. It's fine. So they, for a long time, they were like the only distributor for comics, as far as like single issue stuff goes, like to direct market like shops. So like Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, Dark Horse, IDW, every publisher was going through them. COVID hits and Lunar picks up DC. Like DC leaves Diamond, goes to Lunar, and it kind of like opens up this like because I guess all things considered, Diamond kind of monopolized the market,
Right.
in that regard.
Mhm.
Um, so Lunar kind of opened it up a little bit, and then you had Penguin Random House purchase or like kind of go into dealing with Marvel, you know,
Right.
to read their books. So you saw a big like a pretty like exodus of the big two
Right.
from Diamond, and people were like, okay, that's going to indicate like probably more leaving in the future. Sure enough. Image went to Lunar also. So it's kind of been like a downhill trajectory for
Yeah.
them for a while. Image leaves, Penguin Random House purchases Boom Studios from the founder, like owner of the company.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
they own Boom Studios now. Like that's how I understand it, at
That's
least.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
So,
Penguin, while
of
distributing
course,
Marvel, owns Boom.
yes.
That's insane.
So, um, on top of that, as of just like I guess in the last couple of days, Boom has jumped to Penguin Random House early because of everything that's been going on at Diamond.
Right.
So Diamond has filed for bankruptcy. They're like basically like I don't know. We'll see what
We
happens.
lost all our clients. We only
Um,
got like five, and they're all elsewhere.
yeah, like IDW, like and which I guess with IDW, who's already having a bit of a scheduling issue with some books, which
Right.
that leads to other news. Like there's a lot of doubt about what's going to happen with IDW and their future. But then you have like books, like a book that I'm reading, G. Willow Wilson's The Hunger in the Dusk.
Right.
It was announced as an ongoing. It's being like released in like the like books, like arc to arc format. So like
Right.
book one came out in 6 issues, and then the trade came out. And
Right.
then book two was in the middle of coming out, and there was delay with issue four. But now issue four, five, and six of book two have been completely like unsolicited for single
Oh,
issue release, and it's
that's
been
so
announced
annoying.
that they are going to be released in trade only.
That kills like my OCD because I'd be like, I just have it unfinished.
Yeah, I mean, like, and here's the thing is, like, I guess I kind of want to just go ahead and maybe sell what I, if I'm able to sell the single issues that I do have of it, and then just buy the in just in
Yeah,
volumes.
but
You know what I mean?
right.
So it is a kind of a bummer because I have well, but then again, I also think like, what if I meet her at a convention and then I want to get my single issue signed?
That's true too.
So
Yeah.
like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just forget and get the trade paperbacks anyway,
Right.
or maybe you know, hope at some point I would maybe hope that it would she could take it to a different publisher.
Yeah.
Would be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Well, she's killing
Um,
it with everything she's doing. So
yeah, I
I
really like that
actually want to
book.
read that book. It's a great looking book too. Like that art is really good looking. So I've been meaning to buy it and trade anyway. So I guess
Yeah, I mean now's the time because you'll at least be able to finish it, like to where
yeah.
it is at least.
Right.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of other news, I guess. Let me see what's on the Marvel side of stuff.
What up,
Uh,
Disney?
anybody playing Marvel Rivals? You play Marvel Rivals still, right?
Yeah.
Me too. I'm playing a little bit still. They announced more variants.
Oh, okay.
Penny Parker one, the Doom, like the two Dooms fighting, the Doctor Strange one, Loki. Is it Immortal Thor? It is Immortal Thor 21. Oh, that's cool. I don't know if you can see it.
That's pretty dope. I do like. Oh, that is sick. Actually, is that
It's
Loki?
Hela and Loki.
Yeah, that is sick. I like that a
That's
lot.
fine. Here's a Doctor Strange one.
Oh,
Which
dude, this is sick. Wait, there you go. Oh, oh, dang, that is dope.
they're pretty cool. Oh, the Moon Knight one is kind of cool too. I don't really care
That's my
about Moon
main
Knight.
right there. That's my
Moon
main.
Knight?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I mean, where's
You know, I had to go with the Batman type. Oh yeah, that is sick. That is way dope. I love his armor in that game too.
Oh, here's One World Under Doom number two.
Oh,
It's the in-game art.
that is
Dude,
sick.
I was just looking at okay. I don't want to like get off topic, but I kind of do. So like with Doom being like the center of attention right now, I was kind of looking through like some of my books and seeing what I have as far as Doom goes. I have some pretty cool Doom covers, man.
Dude.
I got the Alex Ross Timeless one. It's like one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, that one's sick.
I have like the Doom one shot, the Adi Granov one. Oh, it's tight, bro.
Yeah,
And then that was the one I got signed by Sanford Green.
right. Yeah,
Um,
that's sick.
and then I have the infamous Iron Man ones, the number 12. I have it's the cover A where it's like the half broken mask, like the infamous Iron
Yeah,
Man mask. But then I have the variant, and it's him on the horse. It's sick, dude. He's like holding the sword. It's so tight, dude. Ah,
which, dude, speaking of, like, I love that going right to the Fantastic Four issue recently where Doom tricked everybody with that whole issue where you think, like, they're speaking to, who's that dude?
Dane Whitman,
Yeah,
Kit Harington. Yeah,
King Harrington. Yeah, and basically, like, you find out the whole time they're like, wait, he stopped calling me Reed and started calling me
yeah, go.
Richards.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I got you.
Yeah, it was great. And
I'm just
then
tired
Doom
of
just
this.
being the pompous shit talker that he is, I love him. I love him so
Yeah, I love Doom,
much. Yeah, he's a goat, man.
dude. I mean, speaking of covers, there's more Marvel vs. Capcom covers coming
Oh,
out too.
they're coming out?
More of them, yeah. You got Cable, Hulk, Gambit,
Damn,
another Wolverine. I think this Magneto one is tight, dude.
dude, he is sick. That's one of my mains in Marvel vs. Capcom too. So
Oh, was it?
yeah,
So I started playing him in Marvel Rivals the other day. He's not bad. He's all right.
yeah.
I don't mind him too much.
Yeah,
What other Marvel news, I guess? Not a whole lot.
I don't think so.
Mhm.
no more news on Imperial this summer, right? There's been nothing about that.
Not that I've seen, no. I'm
You know
very
me,
interested
I always
in.
want more Hickman, so you know me.
Yeah, give me whatever, dude, whatever you got, bro. Just like, just let me
Yeah,
have it. I
yeah,
just need it. I need it,
exactly.
dude.
That's
I
why I
don't
don't even
care.
know what Imperial's going to be about. I don't care. I didn't know what Gods was going to be about. And I still had fun. Like,
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that maybe maybe he's building like a Marvel cosmic thing through these like different like books.
right. I don't
That's
know.
my hope, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um,
Also, I don't know if you heard, but Scott Snyder said in a year's time, the three absolute characters will meet in
I
another
did
year.
hear that.
Yeah.
I did hear that. Yes, I'm excited for it because I was been kind of wondering when they would be meeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy to see like Rafa Sandoval like draw Wonder Woman or you know what I mean, Nick Dragata drawing like
Yeah.
Superman or Wonder Woman. It's gonna look wild,
Who do you think will be writing? Who do you think will be writing like Absolute Justice League if they do one?
dude. I don't know. I really don't know because it's like that's hard, especially as a writer because like you're taking like these brand new creations by like six people like that are their babies and their thing that they created and now you're taking them.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, like,
that's
see, okay. Here's how I see it though. That the same can be said for what's going on in the Ultimate Universe.
sure, but I mean, you're not really seeing Spider-Man in the Ultimates. You're not really seeing, you know what I mean? There's not much crossover
That is true. That's fair. That's a very fair point.
because if like let's say like Hickman Spider-Man goes into the Ultimates, like Dennis Camp is gonna have to write Spider-Man like
Yeah, I
you
mean,
you
which
know
I'm okay with because like I don't know. I feel like with the Ultimate Universe and the way that it's structured, you could really fold them in at any point, and I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility. Like you've got Jim Hammond, like Human Torch.
yeah.
You know what I mean? In this lineup, you've got Sif. You've got, you know what I mean? Like you have Doctor Doom. Like I don't it's pretty unconventional. Is kind of my point.
Yeah. But I'm just saying
But
like pretty much all the Ultimate books have been pretty segregated. We're not seeing anybody
no,
meeting
that
like
yeah,
Mitchum
no,
Hobos,
that's definitely true.
you know.
Um, that being said, do you think it would work better in like smaller crossovers than it would be doing a Justice League style book?
I think so because I think if you're gonna have to do a Justice League book, it would have to be one of the six writers that are writing one of the characters. I feel like it would be like Scott Snyder or it would be maybe
Because like thinking about it now, I would really love to see like a Brave and Bold arc or like a Faster Friends arc with Absolute Flash and Absolute Green Lantern.
yeah.
Like to see Ewing and Lemire trade off and do.
Oh, that'd be yeah.
Damn it, dude! Oh,
Yeah, I know.
I need that, man. I just need, I absolutely need it.
And pretty much like Flash is
Pun
Green Lantern.
100% intended. I absolutely need an absolute Faster Friends.
Well, yeah, because if they go with that dynamic, I mean, it'd be a pretty core dynamic because like usually every Green Lantern and every Generation Flash, like they're close. Like, like
Yes. Like,
Kyle's
and
really close to Wally. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like in this, it's Joe Mullen, which is, which still works because either way, they're like both young, you know what I
yeah,
mean? In
exactly,
this,
exactly.
and you could have her be from somewhere on Earth. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But
Yeah,
that's something I need, man. Like to have my two of my favorite creators work together would literally, oh, dude.
dude. Yeah, and not even that. Like, I feel like
I need that, dude.
you're
I
giving Ewing space now to do a space epic for DC that, like, I just feel is going to be,
just
you
kick
know.
ass, dude.
And I also love the fact that Wally's young. I like the way I took it way like Lemire was telling me is like the vibe of it is like this is gonna be like the Amazing Spider-Man book of the Like, the teenage fun. You get what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the like
But
this is
kind of like
teenage
angsty
fun.
also.
Yeah.
See, like, um,
And I'll tell you this, I like Absolute Flash's design more than Wally's currently. So
I mean, yeah, that's kind of I like
yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean, that's really kind of just some of the news that I was like, that kind of like was like on top of my head and stuff that I would like look up and I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Comics have been really good.
Comics have been
That like,
insane.
you know what I mean? I guess like at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter what the news is out there. Comics have been great. Like I'm reading, still reading a lot. I
Yeah.
think comics are incredible.
Hmm.
So like, um, what have been some of the your favorites over the last couple weeks?
Oh man, I have, dude. Let's see. I'm gonna be real with you here. Let's just talk about this really quick. How'd you feel about Ultimate Wolverine?
Hmm.
I thought it was just okay, and I honestly had this worry going into it when they were like, "Oh, he's a Winter Soldier." I was like, the first issue, he's not gonna say shit. He's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna be sitting there. He's gonna be a savage, and it's gonna be like we're seeing everybody around him.
I was the whole okay, and which is basically what happens, right?
Yeah,
I was the whole time I just kept waiting for like, sorry, bub.
yeah,
You know,
something.
like anything at all.
And then it's like, dude, you killed like Ultimate Nightcrawler's gone now. Okay, well, that sucks.
And Mystique too, right?
Yeah, Mystique too. They're both gone now. So it's like, dude, is this like gonna be like Chris Condon's just gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna just Peach Momoko's got X-Men over there, so let's just kill these ones.
I mean, it would make sense given the dynamic of what's happening over there and like their end, like their side of the world. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Rasputins who seem like a pretty like they're a pretty intimidating like pair, or I guess trio. You know what I mean? Because you've got Colossus Magic, Omega Red.
right. Yeah.
Um,
Omega Red's getting a lot of love lately.
yeah, man. I mean, I don't have any particular bias one way or the other. Like, I don't really care about
Well, it's
him.
just weird that like Wolverine Revenge and like Ultimate Maker Council have like the same members, like of the evil. Like you got Colossus, you got Omega Red, you got like,
True.
it's like what's going on here? What's going on with like everybody making Pieter like a freaking jerk?
I don't know, dude. I mean,
He's like one of the nicest dudes in X-Men normally. Like he's one of the nice.
he's a dick recently too, and like other X-Men stuff.
Really? He's usually
Yeah,
like the coolest dude.
I think it might have been X-Force.
That sucks.
Like this was like during Krakoa era stuff.
Okay.
So like, you know, I don't even know what the hell he's doing right now. So I have
Right.
no idea. Um, and I'm reading all three of the X-Men books, and I don't think I've seen him once.
Okay. Okay.
He might be in something else like Sentinels or X Factor or some other stuff that I'm not reading, but I'm only reading the main three, and they're okay.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. What else?
Um, let's see. How did you feel about this Tales of Asgard issue?
Banger, dude. Oh,
Dude,
absolutely a
it's insane
banger.
how many different artists are on this and how consistent it is. It is so consistent the whole way through, and it's like every page is like a different artist.
But one thing that makes me very mad about
What's
this
that?
issue, one thing, I only get one page of Martin Kokolov's art.
I know. I know. I saw that too. I was like, man, it's a
Yeah.
bummer.
Like I just wanted that last page to be drawn, like the of like like Tornos in the clouds with the
Yeah.
like. I just wanted that to be drawn by him so bad, dude.
Yeah. Because it looks so
Like
fire in the beginning. It looks so fire in the beginning.
I mean, I'm not knocking Basil Dua. I'm really
Yeah.
not. Like it's their art is really like kind of reminiscent of Olivier Coipel, like Mighty Thor days,
Right.
like when Fraction was writing it. So like I don't. I'm not saying I don't like it. Like it's fine. I enjoy it, and I think some pages are really cool. Um, but the faces sometimes really get me.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
So it's kind of like
Yeah.
takes me out sometimes. And I really wish Matthew Wilson was still doing colors because the dude's like just a god, bro.
Yeah.
Dude's a
And I wish
legend.
we got a little more Beta Ray Bill. I wish we got a little more. Wish we did. But
dude.
I did like seeing
His
him talk to Sif.
his
I did like seeing him talk to Sif.
it
Loved that. I loved
broke
him.
freaking my heart, man.
I know it was almost like closure, but it was like not. It was
It's never closure, dude.
yeah, yeah,
My guy just keeps I like he's tragic by default, dude. Like
right.
that's just what he is. Like he's just you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go into it because I'll be here for hours going into it.
Yeah. Well, he's your
Like
favorite character.
I mean, yes, dude, but
Yeah.
like like that one page, I'm just like, dude. I like him and like the page of him and Magni where he's just like they're just talking, and he's like talking about like Twilight, and I'm like, oh man,
Yeah, dude. I was
it's
like,
so cool. Like
yeah, I really had fun with this issue. Like this
it
issue.
was everything that was great. Like Amora's plan, like unfolding the way that it is, like, and you know what's interesting is like Ewing writes these characters like their actions are like pretty believable, you know, like Amora, like when she's talking about like, oh, we're trying to prevent Thor's death, but if he dies, the power's gonna go to his son. Like at least like I'm like I've positioned him myself in a way where like I'm cool, I'm set if Magni takes over. But then it dawns on her, she's like, what happens if Thor is dead and then my son dies? Where does that power go?
Right,
Does that go to me instead because I'm the sole surviving parent and I was technically Queen of Asgard?
right,
Like queen in some fashion or like some like regent or whatever, like however that's structured. I don't know.
right.
But so it's and like the way that like Ewing writes it makes it seem like she's like thinking about it, and then as she's thinking about Magni, she's like, oh, like am I capable? Like, oh, like I can't believe I never thought of this. Like I
Right.
didn't think of this before. Like this is something that's now possible, and am I willing to go to that length to do it? So like her plan, the way that it's unfolding. But here's the thing: is you also have the whole situation with Agar, who's just pissed about
Yes.
like about what happened before, like earlier on in the series. So he's not done. I don't think. Like there's no
No.
way he's
No, because yeah, he's got a new body now, and he's
right. And he they sent the gods of Midgard to that Roxxon prison. No, and they know they literally telegraph in the beginning of the they say at the beginning of the issue, like, I could just get my basically like I could get out no problem. You know, just send me to this place, it'll be no problem. And then boom, they end up going to so like basically that place.
right,
So they're not done. Ewing's not done with that either. So like, I don't think Amora is gonna have this easy rise to power if that's what she thinks is gonna happen.
right. Well, it's all about
Um,
Thor. It's all about Thor like learning how to play the long game and using his. So
yes,
he's gonna.
yes. So like, you have all that going on. You've got the situation with um like Utgard Loki and the gates open now. Like, so
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a lot, there's so much in this issue, but it's really, really good. It's probably one of the more important ones because it ties a lot of this stuff together
right,
and like moving forward at least.
right.
Uh, God, such a good issue. I really loved it, and I love that it was like the Tales of Asgard, like kind of reminiscent of the
Exactly.
Like the Lee Kirby days when they
Yeah.
did the backup.
Ewing does like a lot of that, if you
Yeah.
notice. Does a lot of like those kind of like callback feels. Avengers Inc. was a lot like that. It had this like
Yes.
throwback.
Dude, Ant-Man was incredible with that,
Yeah.
dude. Like that first issue, Ant-Man was so cool, dude.
Yeah. Metamorpho, dude. He's
Yep.
doing that there too. Like he's killing it there too. So
Yeah. And the stuff he did with Flexo, like when he introduced Flexo and he was like an old Golden Age character,
yeah.
you brought him back into the fold. Like that was cool too. Like so good, dude.
Yeah.
Ewing's
Ewing's
just so good with that stuff.
yeah, he is. He's great, dude.
Um, there was a lot of I don't know, man. There was actually quite a few books that I really enjoyed. Um,
New Gods is I'm loving the hell out of that. Evan
New
Kagel
Gods is really
art.
good.
Yeah, Evan Cagel's art, dude, is just something else, man.
So good, man.
Dude, it's so good.
Um,
Um,
a lot of high. There seems like a lot of high cosmic stakes that are kind of I think unfolding as we go.
yeah,
Like I don't really. I think the scope is going to be a lot larger than than what it appears.
right.
You
Because we got
know.
the new Dark Side baby. Basically, we got
Yeah.
the new Dark Side
Yeah.
baby. We got Orion going to kill him, and then we got Mr. Miracle trying to find a baby before he gets killed.
Right, and then you have the situation with Metron and
Dude,
his
that was so dope. That was so dope. That was such a good sequence with Metron and just oh,
yeah.
I'm loving that he's like the mythological like god of tricks. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like
he's really, really like
he's almost Loki like. He's
yeah,
really
he's
Loki like.
playing a pretty active role. Like whereas like a pretty like before he kind of just felt like an observer, you know what I
Right.
mean? Where he was kind of just like just he just was like learning all the time, just wanting to seek knowledge and all this stuff, and the chair had all this knowledge for him to obtain and all these like you know what I mean? And he had I don't know. He seemed very subtle. That's just all he always came off to me as subtle, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So like to see him playing a little bit more of an active role is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the whole Barda moment where basically like Mr. Miracle like were like wasted a
Yeah,
bunch of days on finding the kid and then
yeah,
wrote a letter to Barda and Barda finds him. She's like, "You're an idiot. Try lying. You try, walking away from your wife. Like you're dumb. You're an
yeah.
idiot. I'm going with you." And it's like, yeah, that's Barda.
Too funny, dude.
That's Barda. So that's gonna be great seeing mother like like them as like new parents having to
Yeah.
say just like death like bringer of death baby. You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
and then bringing their own child into this
Right.
situation.
Yeah.
Like it'll be funny because I'm sure at some point they'll be like, wow, we're pretty awful parents, like by doing this.
Right. Right. But it's also like since they're like Orion's not really a parent, so he's like it's like
Right, like their whole like the entire like universe is at stake, basically.
right. And basically they're the only parents that actually would give a shit about a kid. You're like, because Orion's just like, hey, like, yeah, I don't want to do it, but High Father told me to, so I'm going to.
Yeah, he's like pretty subservient. Like he's like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do it because High Father said I need to do it.
Right. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's the way it's I think the way that this series I don't even know. Like there I think there's I'm just really looking forward to how large this story is going to be, I guess. And what it like because it kind of feels like Gillen's Eternals. You know what I mean? Like the
right.
scope of Eternals turned out, at least when it started, I was like, okay, it might be pretty self-contained, but then it turned into something much larger, and then we ended up getting Judgment Day. And I love Judgment Day.
Right. I remember you.
Great.
Yeah.
But like I I'm interested to see where this goes, and I'm hoping at least it's something a lot bigger,
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
is where I'm going
I
with
feel
that.
like Ron V is like
Oh yeah.
I feel like he's kind of doing the Black Panther approach where it's very slow building, like a very, and it's
Yeah.
gonna just come into something because you gotta understand the new gods have to be that way. They're above the multiverse. They're above the multiverse. So it's like it has to be grand in scale. Like
Right. Yeah.
so
I'm hoping, maybe at some point we'll get some like some more reveals with the source and blah blah blah.
yeah. Yeah.
I see like as somebody that really likes Marvel Cosmic and how heavily I feel like that's explored as far as like the more like abstract like because like I'll take Ewing's Defenders for example. Like he dives into like literally and his Ultimates book. Like he dives into like the personifications of the I mean, and granted, the way that the Marvel universe and how that is structured is very different from the way that DC universe and the lore and
Right.
previous iterations and all that is very different, you know. Um, but I've always really enjoyed the way that like the way that our writers dive into at Marvel at least dive into like the cosmology, the history of the multiverse and the universe and like which is why the Ultimates by Ewing is such a big book, like a really big draw for me. And then you've got his Defenders book, which kind of like piggybacks a lot of those concepts.
Yeah.
Um, and you really go into like inside the like basic or like fundamental aspects of the universe and the concepts and like pre-hero concepts and pre like darkness and good. And then you eventually get to this point where it's like the house of ideas, which is supposed to be like Marvel, and then you've got the one above all who sits in there and like it's very like
Right.
meta and all that stuff, which is kind of I feel like what the source wall in a sense kind of like that's like we're not like that's what that threshold is, you know what I mean?
Right.
I just want kind of more of that stuff to be explored, and I'm hoping this is the book that does that, is I guess my point.
Yeah, I think so. I think Ron V is the perfect person to do it.
Yeah,
And I feel like Evan Cagel's a perfect artist because
dude.
like his scope of scale, like it just
Reed Donner, I'm telling you, man, Reed
yeah,
Donner.
I got to because he's nailing it
Out,
here. He's nailing it here. Every panel's gorgeous. I mean,
it's
it's
out in hardcover, dude.
I don't want a hardcover though. Give me a
But
trade.
you kind for this one, you kind of do, man. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, for Evan
Um,
Cagle, I'll do it.
I'll put the bill, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go. We gotta do it. We gotta do it, man. Oh my God. This series is giving me so much anxiety, man. Like
It's so
everything's
good.
about to fall. Everything's about to crash. Everything's about everything. Everything's about to. Like okay,
Here's the thing. I don't really know what's gonna happen
I
with
don't either, but that's
any of
Hickman.
them.
Hickman's really good at that. Like,
Yeah, I have no idea what's gonna happen, dude.
because like I was not expecting to open the book and seeing Richard as basically Venom.
Yes, dude.
Like,
I
yeah,
was like,
right when I saw like the symbiote was over him or the Picotech suit was over, I was like, oh no, oh no,
yeah, I was like, shoot, man.
this is bad. Like this
I'm
is,
interested to see
oh,
because not to like skip over a lot of the book, but basically to skip to the next part with Richard. Are we gonna see kind of like a bit of an like a previous Ultimate Spider-Man situation here?
what do you mean?
Like, do you remember when, like, okay, in like the Bendis Ultimate Spider-Man,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when Black Cat and Peter, like, you know where I'm going with this?
Oh, where she throws up on his, yeah, yeah.
Or like when she kiss, like, or like when she realizes that he's a kid and maybe she's not
Oh,
like
so you're
the
okay.
age thing. Like, you know, like,
This
and
Black Cat's a
I'm
little younger. Yeah.
I'm hoping that this is really just like, obviously it's not going to go there, but like, you know, I don't think it's going to go there. But like, I don't. How old is she?
We don't know.
Because if she is underage and they have like a bit of a thing, it's an
Right.
interesting dynamic when she realized that he's not. If she realized that he's not the one that did that.
Right.
If there is some kind of connection there, but
Yeah.
also if she is older, I just want to see a joke made of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I just want to see him be like, ew.
Yeah. Well, Hickman's kind of been doing that here and there where
Yeah,
he's
like been like picking taking jabs at a lot of stuff.
yeah, he's been doing that.
So yeah, I'm hoping it's either a jab or if they are both underage, you know, because
And
he's what, 16, right?
yeah.
Like if they're both like, you know, of appropriate age.
Which to
And
be
it's
honest with you, I actually think he's more like 14, I think, because I think he's the age at which Peter is supposed to get.
ah, like 15, 14, 15, right?
Yeah.
So if he is and they're both
And
that
now he's
around.
got a symbiote suit, so it's like we're getting the younger Spider-Man already too. But this is bad. This is not good.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, but like so think about it this way, like let's say they hit like for whatever reason they hit it off and it becomes like they become a thing or whatever and they start hanging out and like doing stuff together or like fighting, you know, going around the city together, fighting crime, you know, any manner of things. The dynamic there is another element that adds to things.
Right. And you got to also understand too, if people have been paying attention, it's kind of been showed that Richard and Peter aren't that close. He's
Right.
way more close to Mayday. And basically like that's the reason why Richard kind of goes to Jonah Jameson so much. Like he kind
Right. And also think about it this way is Richard doesn't know what Peter's been like really what Peter's been doing while he's been out as Spider-Man. He just knows that he's out as Spider-Man.
right.
So like when she's like, "Oh, like you beat the hell out of my dad." You know, you're the reason my dad like I have to take over for my dad and he's going to be like, "Wow, I didn't realize my dad actually did this stuff."
Right. And you got to understand also, he's going to probably say, like, once Peter's like, hey, give that suit back.
And
I'm pretty
also,
sure Richard and the AI is going to protest
but
together.
right, and here's the other thing is the way that this book is and the way that the all the other Ultimate books are, it's month to month to month to month. So think about how long Peter has been gone and how long this AI has been in Richard's ear.
Right. It says that he's been gone for 2 months. Like he's been Craven's had him
Right,
for,
gone since Christmas, right? So
yeah.
now we're into January. Think about and how much time he's going to be spending with the AI. What is this AI capable of?
What's he kind of influencing him with? What's he kind of like feeding information on?
Right, right, exactly. Because and here's the thing is, and if here's the other thing, if you really think about it, the way the AI is designed is it's designed to reflect Peter,
Correct. It's supposed to be
his
Peter.
mannerisms, how he acts, how he thinks, all that stuff. So, but here's the difference: is this version of Peter is now going to be spending more time with Richard than actual Peter Parker had
Right.
been before he went missing.
So he's gonna have like a daddy complex with the
it,
suit.
it's yeah, there's gonna be another element added to this. Like
It's
there's the and
insane.
there's so many ways that the story could go. I think that it's
Yeah.
really I just like one. I think for me, I think speculation is I think kind of fun because I don't know when I think about some of these things, it's like
I honestly
where could
think
it go? How far could it go? Like what's gonna happen next? You know what I mean?
I honestly think that speculation, while it's fun, I think it's a non sequitur in for Hickman comics because it's also fun just to be surprised because it's
Right,
like
and right, exactly. Like
I wasn't expecting the Savage Land to be underground with Mole Man. I
right,
wasn't,
yeah,
like that's pretty
right,
cool. That's fucking awesome. Like that was such a cool thing. Chichetto draws an amazing Savage Land too, by the way. Like
right,
Chichetto's killing this book, dude.
dude,
Like,
yeah. Oh,
oh my
okay.
God.
And then like see like and then we get the juices flowing and I think about other stuff is what happens if the suit hijacks Richard inside of it
Right,
when Peter gets back.
right.
Like there, you know what I mean? Like, ah, dude, it's
It's
so
so
there's
bad.
so many things the way that this could go.
And not even that, we find out that basically Craven was feeding them truth serum. So now Craven knows, and everybody, all of the Makers Council knows about Peter and Harry's families.
Right.
That's a oh no. I
No,
said oh
yeah,
no
no
out loud for
bueno,
that
dude.
too.
Yeah,
I said oh
it's not good.
no. That's yeah, that's terrible. Seeing Peter beat the crap out of like a velociraptor was cool.
Hella cool, dude. It's so cool, man. That was tight.
Yeah, that was cool. And
I,
yeah, and then that last oh no was definitely like the black cat, and I was just like, oh no, no, because now if the black cat's gone, this is like now the Makers Council, like basically keep like touching Richard now.
yeah, yeah.
So
But
it's like
here's the thing: is like, do you think Felicia knows how deep things go with her dad?
probably not,
Right.
probably not.
So I'm sure there's going to be some common ground here, and
Yeah,
I think maybe eventually at some point with Peter, I think we'll get to that point too, where she, maybe won't forgive him necessarily for putting her dad in the hospital and hurting him as bad as about, and he didn't even do it. She's missing like she doesn't really know necessarily what happened because it was Harry's
right.
deal.
It's gonna be
Peter,
Peter
Peter
as
was right. Peter was trying to defuse it,
right. It's gonna be
but
Peter as a teller.
right.
So
So like she's obviously her anger is, misplaced right now, like she doesn't know. But she like when she learns all of that, like it's probably going to change things a little bit.
yeah,
And when she realizes that her dad was working for Kingpin and Kingpin works for the Maker and it's going to be a whole like can of worms that comes out,
right.
which it already has. I mean, here's the thing is like she should know now because you have the Ben Riley article that came out several issues ago.
Hmm.
So how she doesn't know, I guess, is kind of beyond me at this point.
Yeah, Hickman's just he's the king of planting seeds and nurturing them until they grow into these beautiful you know.
Like, and here's the thing is like the last Hickman, like how many issues was his Fantastic Four? Do you know off the top of your head?
So I want to say it was like 40,
Right.
30 or 40 somewhere around there.
Right, but then you have like his Avengers and New Avengers, and then you have Infinity. and Secret
Yeah.
Wars, and that whole saga totals 100 issues. Could you imagine like even like 75 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man
Yeah.
or 100? Like, dude, give me 100, give me 100,
Yeah.
give me
Well,
100, bro.
hopefully, but I do know that Hickman said that he had a 2 year plan with Ultimate
Shut your mouth, bro.
when it first started. When he first started like Ultimate Invasion, he said he had a 2 year plan so
I
far.
didn't know that. Don't say that to me.
Yeah. So that's why I'm hoping that all this doesn't end when the Maker comes back.
I mean, there are, well, okay, here's the thing. There is the Free Comic Book Day issue coming out in May,
Mhm.
which probably is going to tease the Maker's return, I'm sure, because he's on the
It's
cover,
gonna be the same as last time, where it's the Ultimates and Spider-Man like together in a duel.
maybe.
No, I looked it up. That's what it is.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
really?
yeah, it's like a duo comic. Like last time was
Well, right, right, right. Well, yes, but like what like this the story for the Ultimate book is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like because it's two separate stories.
The thing
So,
is, I think this can't be 2 years because what Dennis Camp is setting up obviously is not.
but here's my question though. Is if Hickman does adhere, if this 2-year contract is still a thing, do you think Dennis Camp takes over after, like
I
kind of steering the universe?
I think he already has.
See,
I think he already has.
I'm still of the mind that a lot of this is Hickman's brain. I mean, obviously, like I
I
still
think
think
Hickman
Hickman.
kickstarted it, and then he was like, "Here, Dennis, do whatever you want. I'm gonna go over here and do Spider-Man."
But see, like that bothers me, man, because like, okay, maybe it's a wrong, like a bad choice of words, because I think what Dennis Camp is doing in Ultimates is really great.
Yeah,
But I just think the idea of having this whole universe with Hickman, like basically Hickman being the maker of this universe, I to me that is interesting because you get basically what is his version of the Marvel universe.
right,
Like
right.
if he didn't have to adhere to all of the 616 constraints, what does his Marvel universe
Well,
look
you
like?
do know that Donny Cates was supposed to write Ultimate Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, and I know that
Thank
he was
God.
supposed to be the one to do the Ultimate Universe.
Thank God. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the bad things that happened, but like in the end, like I don't think Donny Cates could have pulled this off like Hickman is.
No, and
And this
that's
is
like,
why I also go with that Wolverine Revenge. If you read Wolverine Revenge, this is not a Hickman book. This feels like a Donny Cates book.
see, it's a I think it's a Capullo book.
Really.
Yes,
That makes
because
sense. Because it is pretty badly written.
Doom is great. I think Doom is incredible. That Doom one shot is incredible, but
Yeah.
I think that book was definitely
More so
a
than by Sanford Green, right?
More so a Sanford Green book that was
Yeah, he kept them on the guardrails. Like, okay.
like guided by Hickman. You know what I mean? Was like
So
here,
you
man.
think you think that Wolverine Revenge is just Capullo guided by Hickman?
Yes.
Which I'm gonna be real with you, that book sucks. The art is great though.
I have zero foundation to even like base that on, but that to me that's just how that book feels. Like to me that's just how Wolverine Revenge feels. It feels like this is like Kula's like I got all these sick ass ideas I want to put on the paper, and these are the characters that I want to do it with. And Hickman's like, okay, but you got a story to go with that. So okay, let's do this. Let's kind of do this, and then we could do this, but then we could do this. But if you want to keep this, so we could do this.
Because if you read enough Hickman books, you know what Hickman how he writes, and
Mhm.
Wolverine Revenge is not Hickman at all.
Right.
You know, at least with the Doom one shot, there was a couple of like Hickmanism. There were some Hickmanisms.
I
There was
suffered through way
Valeria.
I
There was
suffered through way too many Image Hickman books to not be like, that's a Capullo book.
right, right, yeah. You-
I didn't waste a month reading Pax Romana and the Nightly News
yeah,
and
dude.
like basically have to get like, dude, it's miserable some nights, bro. Like there would be like, I'm not even kidding you. There would be like a week. I would be like, I was like a week, I think, where I literally read like 3 pages.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I was
what I
like,
had to do
God,
with the
dude,
nightly news. I had to read it like one issue at a time, and then
I was like, God, I can't do it. But they're like 50 pages an issue, bro. They're so damn long.
and it's not even that. It's just like it's so loud. Like there's so much on the
Yes.
page.
Yeah, there
Like
yes, it's just so noisy with
yeah.
all that stuff. Like, okay, and that's not to take away like the messages that those books are trying to
Oh yeah.
send
No, they're
or
great.
like what the stories are actually about. Great books, really great.
Yeah.
It's just overwhelming with with how much graphic stuff is going on, like the graphic design stuff, the way that Hickman used to do those books. Like, it's too much, dude. It's
I think
absolutely.
Hickman's still doing it, to be honest with you. I think Hickman's been designing the ultimate logos, and I think he's been doing because if you look at when you open up these ultimate books and you see like a white page with the
Yeah,
logo
it's
on, you know what I mean? It's like Hickman, dude.
I yeah, man, I just and he's doing a lot right now. Okay, and here okay. If he were to leave the Ultimate Universe, I would hope it would be because he's gonna pick up on some image stuff that he has kind of left hanging for a while.
Right.
Like, where's my next volume of Decorum, Jonathan? Where is
Right.
it? You
Right.
promised me that years ago. I didn't read that book until just last year, but you promised it years ago. Where is it? Or where's the next volume of Black Monday Murders? I want that too. Where's that?
Yeah.
Huh? Which is I won't even get into that book because that book basically told you is basically what's happening right now.
Right. Right.
Money, millionaires, secret government, ruling the world. It's crazy.
Yeah. Hickman's like
All
predicted a
hail
lot.
Mammon, like, God, it's crazy, dude.
Hickman like predicted like the fake news thing a while ago and how it would go. It was crazy.
Dude,
It's pretty crazy if you read like the nightly news, like in
it's a good book,
hindsight.
dude. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
it's like oh man, Hickman nailed it. Hickman was paranoid for good
Dude,
reason.
is this gonna be our like weekly recommendation segment?
I guess so.
Is this week a Hickman recommendation?
I would say. I would say.
All right, so like, okay, pick three Hickman books that you'd recommend then.
Oh shit. Well, I would go. Well, I mean, obviously, his Avengers run, in my opinion, is
Go to dude.
yeah, that's the best.
You don't leave on that Rivals is Busick's.
Right. And I mean, I guess we could count Secret Wars in that, but Secret Wars is the best
Nope,
Marvel
Secret
event.
Wars is included. Here's the thing. I've counted it. It's 100 issues total.
Yeah.
If you go all of Avengers, all of New Avengers, you do Infinity, you do Secret Wars 0 to 9, it's 100 issues.
Yeah.
There's no
Um,
reason not to include Secret Wars because it's the cap of all of that.
I need to finish it. Like I just need to finish like the last two trades, but East of West, I love East of West. Like
Oh, dude, it's so good, dude.
and to be honest with you, the East of West was the reason why I was worried about Dragata. Like
What?
because there's Dragata has these like faces sometimes where it's
Yeah,
just
no,
like it's just like dots and lines. You know what I mean? It's just like two
yeah,
dots and like lines and
yeah, no, I know what you're
I
saying.
was worried about that. He's not doing that though. Thank God
Yeah.
he's not doing that. He's doing it sometimes for like far off panel shots, but he's not doing
Yeah.
it for like close ups
Well,
or
you'd already took one of mine.
oh
East of
really?
West is going to be one of mine. That's fine. I mean, keep going. Keep
And
going. What's the third one?
it would have to be his Fantastic Four run. I mean, it's
Yeah.
that one. I mean, that was his statement for basically why the Fantastic Four is like the first family four, and it's almost like Hickman wrote Fantastic Four the way Grant Morrison writes Superman, where it's like this is like the first foundation. This is like them. Like this is like what it's like to read Marvel. This is like everything revolves around them. They're so
Right.
important. They're the
I
first
mean,
family.
which is kind of what you want. I mean, honestly, that's how they should be propped up. Like that's how I feel like what Ryan North is doing right now. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of there's this like I don't know, there's just like this weird thing with the Fantastic Four where they're like really overlooked for some reason, but they shouldn't be because I don't feel like the modern Marvel universe doesn't exist without them.
No,
You
at
know what
all.
I mean? Like nothing in the Marvel universe really exists with kind of without them.
No,
I don't think.
absolutely not. So
So
it's like
like
I don't know. I feel like
crazy.
Hickman knows, and I feel like Hickman's just such a fan of like because
Yeah.
let's be real, like his run is not like Ryan North. It doesn't go to back and like harken back to feeling like Kirby
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's very standalone, like it's very like high concept sci-fi,
exactly, you
which is
know.
like it's yeah, it's a total I kind of like goes in the opposite direction of what Ryan North is doing at the moment.
Yeah, because it's like that's where we get like the universe creating Franklin Richards, you know, where he created a
Yeah.
universe in his bedroom, you know, and
Yeah.
pretty much like a lot of what Hickman did there stayed. Like
Yeah.
whether it was with Valeria, whatever, you know, like it stays. Like
I really need to reread that
yeah.
soon.
I need to buy those because they sell them like in the trades that I have for Avengers.
Yeah, the complete collection, right?
Yeah, they sell those. I
Yeah,
want to
they're
get
really
it
nice.
because they basically mix his future foundation with
Right. Yeah, it puts them both in there in reading order because there's
yeah,
like what four of them, right, or something.
yeah. So that's why
Right.
I really want that. Like I need to
Yeah.
find them.
Yeah.
So I love those complete collections. If you guys ever can find those, Jonathan, because it's a pain in the ass if you want to read them single issues. That whole Avengers is
Yeah.
such a pain in the ass to try to find and read single.
Yeah, and the way that they have that structured is perfect.
And yeah,
It's
it
perfect.
reads so well in those complete collections. It's
Yeah.
seamless, you know. And I felt like, you know, like I said all the time, like I hated that run when it was coming out monthly because every month I'd be lost because Hickman's very about details and that
Yeah,
runs
like
such a sci-fi detailed, insane ride that you would forget some of these high like concept things before the next issue.
yeah. And
And you got to keep track of
I
new
remember
Avengers
catching
and new.
up. I remember catching up and reading like each of them independently, but like pretty much up to the point where Secret Wars, like a couple months before it started. So I like caught on. Like the end of Time Runs Out is where I was like kind of like now back monthly with
Right.
that. So
Because
then
if you buy those individual trades, it's a nightmare to read because you got to open one
yeah.
trade up and then open another trade up.
Yeah, because you're
You
like
know?
back and forth, back and forth,
Yeah,
back and forth. Right.
yeah,
No, I yeah. So like
terrible.
it was a total it was like reading it like when you let me borrow the complete collection, dude, that was like mind blowing. It was a way different experience the second time
Yeah,
around. It
yeah.
was so much better.
And for some reason, man, I would feel like, oh, it's already over. And some of these books are thick, and I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's already over. Like I'm
With
so
like
into it.
the I think it's like volume like number three with like it has infinity in it, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, I tore through that in like a few hours, man.
yeah.
I was like, oh, so good.
It's so good.
Um,
Like that's probably my favorite Thanos event ever.
so
Is
Avengers, East of West, and Fantastic Four.
yeah, that's got to be it for me. Yeah, I
Well,
can't say nightly news just because it's too.
yeah, no, I totally get it. Um, well, East of West would have been my number one
Really?
recommendation. Oh yeah, of course, dude. It's like it's probably a top 10 book ever for me.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's incredible, dude. I love that book so much.
Yeah, I need to finish it. I haven't finished it.
Yeah,
I need to
so
finish
good, dude.
it.
And the end is it's just the end hits so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I don't want to say I don't even when you're done, we talk about it.
Okay.
It's really good, dude. Um, I guess I'll go Manhattan Projects.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. I never finished that one either. I
That
only
book
read
is a
like the first
trip,
trade.
dude. That book is insane, bro.
I've only read the first trade, and I thought that was insane. I thought like everything that was going on was crazy.
It's an absolute trip, dude.
Yeah,
Like, if you're a fan of like American history or like kind of like World War II, like nuclear history, that kind of stuff, but with really ridiculous
insane sci-fi.
sci-fi,
Yeah,
yeah, it is nuts, dude.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember, and I'll
Like
never forget.
there's like alternate dimension Oppenheimer, alternate dimension Einstein, who was like a
Yeah,
barbarian.
opening black holes and shit on
Yeah.
purpose.
Oppenheimer has two like personalities that exist within his mind, and one
Yeah,
eats the other. It's crazy.
yeah,
And there's like a war inside his mind. It's
yeah.
weird,
I need to
dude.
get that too. I kind of forgot that that existed. I need to get that.
It's such a crazy book.
Yeah,
I recommend it if you like just like weird sci-fi stuff, but like the added element with some of these like historical, I mean, like real life historical people
right.
is really funny.
Yeah.
So I'd say that one. Uh, what else, man? Decorum is really. It's only 8 issues, but they're all really, really dense. They have a lot of depth. The story is really, really interesting. The world building is insane. The art by Mike Huddleston is literally crazy, dude. It
Yeah.
bonkers. It's nuts. So I think that is really good by Hickman. I just wish it came back. Um, Black Monday Murders, I think would be the other one. It's kind of like it has a not like a fair amount, but it's got a few of the graphic design stuff in it.
Okay.
But it really is. It's good, dude. It's just like really eerie, and it's like there's mystery. There's some mystery stuff. Um, but it's basically about like these secret families that are like rich and use like money and blood and like basically living like forever, like they kind of how we would imagine like these secret evil billionaire clubs,
Right.
So that's kind of essentially what this like Hickman's kind of take on that is, and there's like, and I'm sure you probably like, I don't know a lot about this particular entity, but like Mammon, this like god of like money and yada 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 and all that stuff.
Right.
Um, so like he's like a big focus like later on in the book, and I think it's eight in total. I'd have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it's eight. But there's supposed to be more of that. Um, but really, it's really, really interesting. I just want more of that too.
I just want to read everything that Hickman's done, like at one point, at some point.
So yeah, like I would say like read those three if you just want something that's not Marvel Hickman.
Right.
So check those out because you got his like Shield stuff too, I think that he did, right?
Oh yes, that was such a weird run too. That was
I've
so.
never read it. I'd be interested to check it out.
It's
But
fun. It's just weird. It's
okay,
so.
yeah, I'll check it out at some point.
It's pretty much him
Um,
just putting his sci-fi nonsense into Shield, and it's great.
okay, that's cool. Hey,
Yeah.
take it.
You know.
But yeah, I those are kind of my Hickman recommendations, I think. I just I was kind of on a binge for a minute with Hickman's like image stuff, so I just wanted to see everything that he had done over there. And I
Yeah.
read like all five books by
Right.
him. Yeah, five. No, six, because it was East of West, Manhattan Projects, Pax Romana, Decorum, and Nightly News, Black Monday Murders.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
mean, damn.
I just remembered some news that we
But
didn't say that I saw. Hayden Sherman announced that Dark Days Dungeon is getting a movie. His and Scott Snyder's book.
oh, I haven't read that.
Yeah, it's getting a movie.
Okay. The Dark Spaces
Yeah,
thing.
the Dark Spaces
Okay,
Dungeon. Yeah.
yes. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Apparently
I
Hayden Sherman kills it there too. So
Hey man, he's got some good stuff. Into the
yeah.
Unbeing is a good book by him, and
Well, how
I'm
about
trying-
we because we kind of talked about this Tom Taylor. I don't care really. It's okay, whatever. But I wanted to end this episode with what we can say about this banger right here. Because
oh,
this, my
really,
God,
yeah,
uh, I'm loving Witchcraft Diana. I gotta say,
dude, hey, no,
dude, I gotta say, something awakened in me when I saw her just like covered in blood and like, just come on, man. Like, Jesus, this is amazing. Uh,
yeah, it's really great, dude. I, there's like so everything about it is just great, man. I don't really know where to like go. Doesn't really have any like drawbacks to me. You
no,
know what I mean? Like I
no,
think everything about this book is really good.
yeah. I love it. I love
I
the Steve Trevor in this. I love I, dude, that Buster Sword, her making that thing like 3 stories tall,
Yeah,
like, just all these magic spells. Like, it's so cool to see
and
this.
then getting to see Hecate. I think that's how you say that, dude. Like that's
Yeah,
really cool design,
that was
dude.
insane,
And
man.
like her kind of being like this cosmic being that's aware of things. I'm interested to see.
I
if-
I have a feeling that because this issue kind of mentions it every issue a little bit. They kind of hint at it that like magic always takes sacrifice. So I feel like over time we're gonna see Hecate try to take pieces or take something from Diana. Like she's
Yeah,
already lost her arm. She already had to sacrifice that. So it's like,
right,
what else
right.
is she gonna have to
And then she
sacrifice?
has to like sacrifice other things to her and use magic to get a replacement arm.
Right.
So like, I mean that.
What happens
Or
when all the snowballs, all these sacrifices,
yeah,
all these things, because it's like they say, like, like she mentions it, like magic comes at a cost.
yeah. the other thing I think about too is like, do some of these like cosmic beings have like some kind of awareness about what's going on with Darkseid?
Yes. Yes.
And if they do, are they like kind of taking advantage of it?
Or are they influenced completely by it?
Yeah, that too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
there's like an introduction of like what was it, like Apollo, I think, in the beginning, or Helios? I think
It
that's right.
was Apollo.
Apollo.
Yeah.
So like beings like that, like him and Hecate, like do they have like some kind of like higher level of awareness and they know what like why this universe is messed up?
That could be. I mean, I would be surprised to find out where the Jim Corrigan is of this universe.
Like Spectre.
Like, not
Interesting.
like the Spectre, because the Spectre's still in Earth Prime, but it's
Yeah,
basically
well,
like,
because there's just one Spectre, right?
yeah, pretty much. There's only one Spectre because there's only one presence, and he's like the presence is wrath.
Yeah, that's right.
And apparently, Eclipso's supposed to be the presence's like vengeance. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, that's like a thing. He's supposed to be. That's why Darkseid was looking for him in the All-In special along with Spectre.
Oh, I thought he was just trying to get the crystal.
He's basically going to like aspects of the presence, more or less, and
Uh,
yeah. But I didn't know that either until recently. I think I saw like a Mark Wade interview where he was like, "Yeah, Eclipso's. Mark Wade says it. I'm just gonna
I
believe
mean,
it."
yeah, it's basically like fact. Dude knows everything. So,
So
but yeah, there were a lot of cool aspects, I think, to this. I think just to the magic side of things in general. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, plus you get some of these support characters like Etta Candy,
yeah, that was wild. Seeing
and
Edit there was cool.
it's her daughter, right?
Yeah,
So like them and them kind of being like, kind of having some magic, and knowing magic in some, at least like into Diana, she's
right.
considering what they know magic. Um, but it's, I don't know, like there's everything about this book is good.
Yeah,
There's not really anything. I'm just waiting to see, I guess, now that the Tetracide thing is kind of over with,
right.
what's next? Like how, like, I just want to dive into more of like this backstory and the lore and like more of what like goes on within Diana's like her own self-contained universe here in
Yeah,
this in the absolute universe.
yeah. And final question I want to ask you: what do you think is going to be the first book to cross over in the Absolute Universe? Who do you think is going to cross over into what book first?
Uh, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and say Batman and Martian Manhunter.
You think so? That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe. I don't know.
Pretty cool. Because I think Clark and Wonder Woman Diana are gonna meet eventually, and
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
I think it's gonna be like them first. I think they'll be the first to seek each other out.
My initial gut instinct was to say Bruce and Diana.
That would be cool too.
But
Cool
I
too.
also I don't know. I guess if the question is like realistically, I think Bruce and Diana could be realistically the first that meet. But if I had to like pick a personal preference, I would want it to be Martian Manhunter and Batman because I think that could be really interesting.
Yeah, because he's gonna be like a detective, so it's
Yeah,
like
I
it's
think
perfect.
could be cool. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
it's
that
kind
right.
of what I. So yeah, I have two answers for that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know. If I think realistically, yeah, I would maybe Diana and Bruce meeting first would be cool.
If Marvel and DC really wanted to make money, they should make it to where like while the makers trying to make the Ultimate Universe go to the main universe of that, they end up crossing over with the Absolute Universe. They go to like we get the crossover of Ultimate and Absolute. Like, dude, you don't
Dude,
have to muck up your main universes. You could just everybody's loving these two universes.
do them together, dude. Yeah.
You could just like have the maker be like,
That would
shit,
be
I was trying to go to 616. Here I am. I ended up in this bastardized,
I went into yeah, absolute universe.
yeah, with all these weird people and all this shit. Like, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
manipulate this area now, like, because I don't know the history here. I can't manipulate
Well,
it.
right, and there's
I'm
and I
powerless.
don't think that he could based on Darkseid's influence
Right.
because Darkseid basically did the same thing he did.
Exactly. I
And,
think it makes
and,
more
and
sense. Yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Darkseid's influence is probably equal to what the Maker's is. It's just on a
It,
more abstract cosmic level rather than how scientific the Maker makes it seem. You know what I mean? The Maker has it like designed.
yeah, but I'm just saying, just if you want to make money, guys, just
Crossover, man.
that would be dope.
That's hey man, Marvel Ultimate Marvel versus Absolute DC.
Dude, just imagine like
That would be kind of sick, dude.
that would be insane. That would be dope. Like seeing like Ultimate Black Panther meet like Bruce, or seeing like, Spider-Man meet like,
Oh, dude, Iron Lad meet Bruce. Yeah, this Bruce
yeah,
Wayne.
that'd be sick, dude. Like there's so much, I don't know. I feel like it's so like low stakes because it's just these two new things. You don't have to,
I feel like if you had the right creative team behind it, it could be really good.
yeah.
But my worry is it'll turn into some. Okay, would you rather it be like just a contained to a mini series, or would you rather it be like this big crossover that crosses over into the titles of each book?
I mean, I would imagine like they would cross over and basically they would split apart again, but at least it happened.
Because I do not I the way my worry is I feel like the way with the way that the industry is structured now is we would have the inevitable crossovers issues in the runs. You know what I mean? And I don't think that that would be healthy. I don't
Right.
think that's beneficial. So I think if it were to be done, it would need to be done with the right creative team, and it would have to be done with in
Like,
like just self-contained miniseries, the way that
yeah.
the original was done.
Or even then you could just do like one shots, like one shots of these
That
people.
too, yeah.
Yeah, like, like kind of like they did back in the day, where we got like this one
Yeah.
shot like Superman and Venom, where we got
Well,
this.
like the JLA. What
Yeah,
comes to mind for me is JLA Avengers.
right, right. Which
You
would
know
be
what I
cool
mean?
if we got like, the
Ooh, JLA Avengers, Bachman and Saad Ribik.
that'd be dope. Because yeah, we could get like the
Yo,
absolute Justice League and the ultimate, the ultimates, dude. That'd be sick.
oh, fire, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. I hate
Yeah,
I hate I hate when we do this because it makes me dream about books that don't exist.
I know. I know. Let's try to just will it into existence though, but
Oh.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. It was great. Great talking with you guys. It's been a while.
Yes.
It's been a while since we did this. I feel like it's been like a month, even though it hasn't been.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
work
We'll
was so long.
we'll try and do weekly, I think.
Yeah,
Now I'm looking forward. But yeah,
for
thanks for
sure.
tuning in, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for bearing with us for so long now.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
man.
dudes.
Later on, guys.